There has been rumors about Olympus closing down its imaging business again. What are my thoughts on these rumors? Watch this video to find out. Hi there, my name is Peter Forsgard and I am an Olympus visionary and a professional photographer from Helsinki, Finland. My channel is all about you getting to be a better photographer and also about Olympus gear. But let's start with a few disclaimers. Olympus has not asked me to make this video. I make this video only because I've gotten a few emails and a few questions in other social media sites that what are my thoughts on this rumor that Olympus is closing down, and that's why I wanted to make this video. And of course the second disclaimer is that I am an Olympus visionary and I have an interest in Olympus, of course, and I want to clear some things that might be a bit confusing. But then also you have to remember that I am not a business expert, I am a photographer, so if there are any things that I might interpret wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. But let's start with the matter. It all started when Olympus announced that it will shut down its camera division or imaging division in South Korea by the end of June. But of course the service facilities will provide services all the way up until I think it was 2026. So if you're from South Korea and watching this, don't worry, if you have Olympus cameras, you will have services all the way up to 2026. And of course it's a bad news when Olympus is shutting down its camera business in Korea, or the camera division, camera sales. Of course it's a bad news. But let's look what has happened in South Korea with Olympus in last 10 years. They had a very good market share in the beginning of the millennium and wanted to grow the market share. But in 2014 there was a big hassle, and it has got nothing to do with the gear itself. It was about the company leadership in South Korea. And let me quote this article that I found. I will put a link to that article in the description of this video, but let's quote this article. The company was one of the top 3 manufacturers of the mirrorless line of digital cameras until 2012, along with Sony and Samsung, but it's floundering after a series of inner problems such as the sudden dismissal of its CEO and indictment of former Olympus Korea executives over embezzlement, as well as the large-scale accounting fraud in Olympus Corporation. The market loss has nothing to do with the cameras itself. It was bad leadership and some frauds. But you can read some more about it in this article. I will also link this article into the description of this video so you can find out for yourself and read it. And of course at the same time, when they have not been able to regain their market share, the COVID-19 struck the world, and that has devastated effect on camera sales, and you can watch a video about it from here. The thing that happened in South Korea, can that happen in other parts of the world with Olympus? Well, of course it can, but I do have some things that tell different story. Camera companies have pulled out of big markets before, like Nikon did pull out from Brazil 2018, and they're still making good cameras and still developing new gear. And that's a good thing. I think it benefits all of us photographers the more there are camera companies, because then the competition will be stronger and they need to develop new things in cameras and they need to improve the cameras when there is competition. So I think having all the traditional camera manufacturers still in business after many years ahead, it will be a good thing for us photographers. And of course if there are some new companies that will enter the market, that will also be a good thing, because newcomers always need to make something special so that they can sell their cameras. So competition is a good thing. Olympus is a medical company and their camera or imaging division is a big part of their R&D. So if they would close down the camera business, most of the costs of the R&D would still be there. So they're benefiting from the camera business. Here is a report that I found when researching some knowledge for this video, that the camera business is the technology driver in Olympus Corporation. So that also tells me that it's not easy to shut down the camera business. And here are some info about what those technology drivers are that Olympus is in benefit of their medical business too. And also this report says that one of the priority measures that Olympus has is its camera business's ability to be the technology driver in Olympus Corporation. So does that mean that they are more likely to look that part of the imaging business, so that as long as it can drive the technology ahead, also benefiting the medical department, it will continue to make cameras? So the amount of sales is not the first number that they are looking, but the ability to do R&D for the medical business is mainly the first thing that they are looking at. And as long as that is okay, then I think there's no problem with Olympus making cameras in the future. They will do that if they can keep up with the technology that improves the medical part. And the third thing is that Olympus just opened their new factory in Vietnam, and they've transferred the manufacturing of cameras from China to Vietnam in last few years, and that has also affected the profitability of camera business, because building a new factory is not exactly quite cheap. That will cut the costs in the long run, and also building a new factory for cameras indicates that they are not going to shut down in the near future. Thing number 4, in February 2020, this year, Olympus reinstated their #1 position in mirrorless cameras in Japan because of the EPL9, which actually is an interesting thing when we look at the other cameras and from other brands that have been selling the most in February, is that all these are old models. So is it the price that will drive people to get new cameras and not the new features? Then there are some other interesting things that I found on this report. And let me quote: Olympus is establishing comprehensive technologies for 4K and 8K movie, developing devices for recording at these resolutions. Could this mean that there will be a 8K capable camera with a new sensor from Olympus? That would probably also mean some more megapixels. And that's something that we've been waiting for Olympus to do, to have a new sensor in their cameras. And if they want to make 8K cameras, maybe they are planning on introducing a camera with 8K video capabilities, which also means more megapixels. This is something that I don't know, but reading this report quite clearly tells that that might be in the roadmap of cameras. There was also another very interesting priority, and let me quote: focus on the development of high value added mirrorless cameras, primarily OMD series and interchangeable lenses Pro series. So it looks like Olympus is concentrating on OMD series cameras and Pro lenses. And if you look at the latest roadmap, you can see that the Pro lenses are priority. And also concentrating on high-end cameras and Pro lenses will most likely benefit the medical part more than just doing entry-level cameras and entry-level lenses. What are your thoughts on all this? Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you're interested in camera business in general, there are plenty of videos that I've made about that. You might want to watch those next. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.